Hello and welcome to yet another episode of WiP Wonder Woman. Today our guest is Neeru Bali. Welcome, Neeru.
Thank you so much, Mandeep, ma'am, to have me over here on this platform. It's an honor and privilege to be part of this wonderful group.
We had to call you because we knew that this new star in the north based in Chandigarh had to be invited to tell about all her things. Let me read out your bio for all our members. Dr. Neeru Bali, founder and director of Edcosmo Education Advisors, is the leading educational institute for higher education in the northern region and based in Chandigarh. The institute has provided consulting services to hundreds of young students to get admitted to their dream college in India, overseas, including the Ivy League schools. Dr. Neeru Bali has recently been awarded the prestigious Economic Times Inspiring Leaders Awards. Congratulations. She writes regularly on issues of higher education in the leading national papers, and her opinion is very often sought by both electronic and print media on educational trends and state policies. That is lovely. I wanted to ask you, your doctorate are you a PhD or an?
No, I'm a physician. I'm a general physician by education. Yes. And I have changed my profession now. It started in 2012 when my daughter was planning to make her profile to go to US. And at that point of time, I realized the structured resources or the facilities which high school students could get were not here in Chandigarh. And yes, they are available maybe in the bigger cities or abroad, but that paucity was lacking here. And I wanted to have a one-stop shop in the Tri-City here for all the high school students to become internationally competent to apply for those kind of universities.
So that's how you got started. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yes. So members who do not know the Tri-Cities, she's basically talking about Chandigarh, Mohali and Panchkula. And that's a huge market. And before we go further and I ask you more about yourself, I wanted to say, what is it about this region that everybody wants to go overseas? I know there are many other parts of the country where people do, but being a Punjabi, everybody says ki kahin chale jao, like Antarctica mein bhi chale jao, ek kake ka dhaba hoga. That was a joke. But everybody would say, and sometimes I feel that they are so moneyed and they're so landed and they can go and wait tables or be in 7-Eleven or at the petrol pumps, but they want to go overseas. What is it about you that you've understood about the region?
I personally am not in favor of going abroad just for the heck of it. For me, my education institute is to guide students to get into a good program, a good university for education. Yes, in rural Punjab, there is a big strata of people who just want to go, which I don't encourage them. I feel there are a lot of Indian universities as well who are coming up in a great way. We have liberal arts universities here. And if a student, asks me to do medicine or law abroad, I prefer them to study in India and then go for masters. That makes sense to me. I'm just not sending children abroad just for the heck of it. I want them to have the best education. I explain them. And at times I have actually helped them decide to get, the better ones, the better facilities which are available here in India, that they should go for that.
Okay, so my first thing to you is, tell me about how did you end up creating Edcosmo?
When my daughter joined, and I had a lot of students coming over to me for guidance. And then, I realized that this Tri-City needs this kind of a platform wherein they can be guided in a proper manner. So we started with the 4 students the first year in 2017, and it was just by word of mouth, the whole word spread, and I've been guiding students ever since. We are a team of 10 now, and with different verticals, right from having profile building, application strategy, early advising, aptitude testing, brainstorming of essays. So we've, structured the whole system in a way that when a student enrolls, he doesn't find difficulty hopping from one aspect to the other. So that was important. And we've had admissions in Ivy Leagues. We've had admissions in UK, London School of Economics, and Oxford, and University of Toronto. And we had students getting huge scholarships. This year, just yesterday, I got a news from one of the students getting full scholarship from Syracuse. An international student getting that was a big news for us. Yes, it's a big news for us. And so it's never be looking back. We've covered more than 150 universities across the globe.
Fantastic. This is congratulations to you. And so people, as you said, the various services that you provide, that people come to you for, are the parents usually the kind who are aware of the financials which is included, or you try to get scholarships for? Because undergrads, very few scholarships happen. Usually it happens at the postgraduate level. So how do you go about advising them about the financials and everything?
Yes, there are a few students who are ready to pay that kind of amount because they want to go to the best of the leagues. There's a category of students who want to get, maybe into Carnegie Mellon or Georgia Tech or Ivy Leagues or UCs, so they are well prepared in advance about the kind of finances they're going to get into. So this is one category. Then there are others who are bright, who are ambitious, but looking for scholarships. So for those kind of students, the one which I told you just a moment back, so we do help such students to get financial aid, scholarships, and even in Canada, we've just had in UBC, University of Toronto, huge scholarships for students, and so we do help out with all these aspects as well. And there are students who would want to go for programs which are just scholarship based. So the list is made accordingly.
So what percentage of students come to you for advice for just choosing the choice of course that they have? Or which are the ones who are also coming for guidance for the entire process? And some of them must be coming ki bahar jana hai, just let us know the end-to-end process. So tell me about the kind of divide of students who come to you.
We do have students for career guidance.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, there's specific students who just want to know. So at that point of time, I let them, understand that whether you are fit for which sciences or humanities or liberal arts also. So, and which is the right place to study? Is it India? Is it Australia, Canada, UK, Singapore? That is the first kind of the conversation which I have for students. If it is India, I've told them law karo and go do CLAT. You need not come to me. Go ahead, prepare for your, CLAT or prepare for your NEET and IIT. So that is the first thing. And when I realize the student has potential, they can go to these universities, and also which I advise those students is that the curriculum abroad is not going to be that easy. So you have to be well prepared to adjust to the international community and also to survive and thrive the curriculum out there. So this is a misconception that studies abroad is easy. It is not. So it is competitive, and it is a super selective kind of a program which if they are applying to, they should be well prepared. So that's how I do my segregation of students at the first go itself. And then most of the times, like 80% do enroll for a full program. They want to get end-to-end guidance till they get their acceptance offers. So that's how we proceed.
That's nice. I hope students are no longer, this is a thought that comes to my mind, that it was always very marks based. What subjects and courses are you taking is basis. I hope we are also trying to get into aptitude testing of some kind.
Yes, we do have an aptitude test. So for me, an aptitude test is a platform. After that, I do have 2 counseling sessions. It's a mandatory kind of a thing. The first time I explain them, these are the streams which you would be good at. And aptitude test, I always tell them that you should be aware of a lot of streams. If you've taken up sciences, you're not, for engineering program, then a lot of other things. There's biophysics, there's biotechnologies, there's neurosciences, genetics. So I kind of have a second session to give more options in that field so that they are satisfied with the counseling session and the confusion if they're having.
Yeah, no, overseas schools usually have this as in-house as part of the schools. I'm very glad that there are services like yours, because schools which do not have it, they definitely need a little bit more counseling and guiding about the choice of careers from class 9 or upwards. There is this whole the current trends, and your resume said that you've been writing about it and also advising about it. I just wanted to ask you that there's a whole debate about brain drain happening. We have the IITs and the IIMs and all that thing, and why are children still going overseas? So what are the current trends that you're observing? And also, in your opinion, what does the Indian education system lack that kids try to go overseas?
Yes, a very important and pertinent point that our education system lacks two things. One is becoming industry ready.
Okay.
So that is what children feel, that they have studied from IITs, but when they're applying for jobs, they still have to be trained for 6 to 8 months or a year to get job ready. So which I feel the universities abroad, especially engineering, they have the co-op facilities, they have the internship facilities, which is helpful for the students to get into jobs. And the second component, which I feel India need to pick up, is the research facilities. The research component is lacking in India. We need to push this. We need to bring this up in every college, every universities. And I feel even the high school students should be exposed to the concept of researchers, writing review papers, maybe at a smaller level. They should be exposed to that. And that is how we are going to, progress in India.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of the global rankings, people don't understand that why do some of our esteemed colleges, institutes do not make it, which are so competitive. But the fact is, one is the infrastructure and the ratio of the teacher to students. And the third is amount of publications you have. A lot of the best teachers at our IITs and IIMs perhaps are publishing a lot, but I think there need to be at the global levels, so the cut is very, very different. So this is something that when you stay overseas and you see your children going, then these are the questions you ask, that you have been through medicine and you know how competitive it is in India to
Yes.
crack a thing. And a lot of my friends, I mean, all of our generation of parents, unfortunately, have their children who are studying overseas. This question always comes up, that how come they could not crack some of the institutes we cracked? And I think this is the answer to that, which you rightfully said. I think this internship, this government has really done a lot about creating apprenticeship things and internship things, but it's still not got down to all institutions. They're not aware of it. And if they were, you're very right that it will make a big difference to employability in the country.
I believe the National Education Policy 2020 have come out with good changes. The fourth year research program, which they have introduced, will benefit our student body. Definitely. Like the fourth year, if they want to do masters or they want to do PhD in India, that will help them a lot. So I'm looking forward to all the changes which Indian government is bringing in, and we want the best brains to stay in India to make India progress. I'm like pro-Indian, very patriotic.
Good for you.
Yes.
I was wanting to hear that from you, because
Yes.
I must say that because of the pandemic, my daughter was here for the last 10 months last year. And she was interning with one of the big financial insurance companies. And it was such an eye opener for her. And I think after being a decade overseas, coming back and working in a company, she really did have respect for some of the things which are happening. So I think it's very important to give that exposure to children, and not necessarily keep pushing their children
Yeah.
just.
Absolutely.
Okay, you have a lot of times. I see your social media posts about you addressing school students and college students. So tell me, what age do you begin this sharing information about universities in India and overseas?
We have early advising cell, which normally starts with class 8. And that is the time when I ask students to explore options. That's the best time. And by the mid of class 10, they should be ready and prepared to select the subjects, be it ISC or CBSE or even HL and SL of IB curriculum. So it's like mid of 10th, we help them decide the subjects and also the intended major which they want to take. So it starts with early advising, 8th and 9th, and in 10th, I kind of have an aptitude test counseling sessions to freeze their subject selections. But there are a lot of students who come after board exams. I've realized that they've given their board exams and now they're free, and at times they've got their results, and then they kind of start looking, whether it is India or abroad and which country. And I have around 40% of the students who come after the board results. And then in class 11th and 12th, we really have to work hard with them, and that's a percentage. 40% will come after class 10, which I personally recommend all the school students to start early. That would help them explore options. And aptitude is one thing. Interest is something which is developed with awareness. If you do not know what is marine biology or computational biology, how will you opt for those subjects? How will you opt for those, stream that you want to take, biology and maths? So it's a good idea to start early. But yes, this is the ratio which I encounter students.
Oh, I'm very glad. I'm really enjoying listening to you because I feel that some of the things like one, I really find people read so little. I don't know, maybe that habit that people have of reading to children, which is overseas. We see a very thing in every movie or everything which is done. That is something हमारे नाना नानी दादा दादी हमें कहानी सुनाते थे, but I think reading to people is something which some of the modern parents might be doing. I don't know whether everyone does it. Two, when the kids don't read, telling them about marine biology or anything else doesn't make sense because they've not grasped. So the book reviews, which children are forced to do in IB schools or even other schools these days, is a big help because kids are forced to read about something and broaden their horizon, whether it is on English literature or it is about some science aspect or whatever. And another thing I always find is that shadowing the person. You want to be a doctor, shadow a doctor. Now, these are concepts which are lacking. Now, what worries me is that they do want to take a shortcut by coming to a consultant, but they may not go the whole long way, which kids from overseas schools do it. And ultimately, it's their loss when they find that the pressure is a lot when they go overseas and it's not so easy. I don't know. What is your view on that?
I in class 11th and 12th, I always ask my students to do internships, observership. And we have a system that, for instance, we've divided our, verticals, as I was explaining you. There are verticals like academic profile, there is personality development and social initiatives. So when I'm talking about academic profile, it's just not the high school scores or the standardized tests. It's about doing projects related to the intended major. This is how we are different from others. For instance, if a child is wanting to do computer science and he's good in physics, chemistry, maths, but not, enjoying coding, he's not learning, wants to learn the language, or he has learned the language, he is not enjoying making an app or website. So that will actually, let him decide whether is this the field that he wants to get into. So this is kind of experiential learning. Then we always have, children going for psychology. We have a resource person. I always tell them to do an internship with the psychologist. Similarly, in medical field or being a lawyer, there are so many fields that we advise them, and we do have resources where we ask them to do maybe a review paper. We do. And the main problem in India is, when a high school student or even bachelors, they kind of contact some professor, they feel कि आप तो बहुत छोटे हो कि आप ये कैसे करोगे? So it's yes. So
it's
we
part of the curriculum, yes.
Yes. So we do advise them. We in fact push them to get into the system and learn. Like if you are going for economics, learn about cryptocurrency. We do have clubs, like there's a Busy Gen Club where we had sessions for startups. how to handle finances or financial literacy for teenagers. So we do have projects like those in-house to make them aware, experiential learning or internship facilities where they can get a little bit of an idea of what they're going to get into in bachelor's.
No, that I totally agree. The last bit, which I also wanted to ask on this subject, is the fact that a lot of the parents don't get this, writing the personal essays, because every university has its own thing, and a lot of them, they really want quick services. कि कोई पुराना वाला essay नहीं है, आप भेज नहीं सकते हो, आपकी बच्ची गई थी. And I know that, my daughter graduated high school from an IB in Singapore, and it's totally looked down upon if you have to even see or share. Person can say you should go about this way. They will tell you the process. They don't share the essay per se. That's not done on at all. And this is something, because a friend mentioned recently that somebody approached her in Bombay and said, can you give your daughter's essay? Because my daughter wants to go overseas. And they're friends, so she didn't know how to say yes or no and what to say that. So how do you tackle these kind of things where people expect you to write the essays for them?
Yes, I do have essay writers specifically for US,
Yes.
And different for UK because the format is different, and Canada. Then we have brainstorming essay sessions. It's a mandatory thing for students to brainstorm the essay because these essays are your unique stories. It cannot be cliche. They, all the experiences which you have gained while making your profile or your, school experiences, personal experiences. So we actually nudge them, and even we ask the parents to join the brainstorming essay sessions because बच्चा भूल जाएगा पर मम्मा को याद रहेगा ये इसने ये किया था, इसने ये करा था ऐसे. So that story will be the child's story. So we help them first decide the topic which would be interesting and unique and make them write the first draft. That is important. Then we start editing, revising, and number of edits happen. It just goes to and fro, and till the time the student is satisfied and we are satisfied, we don't submit. So that's how we go. Yes, we do have issues where parents would come, ki aap de do, hame dikhao, padhao, and I always tell them that you will be inspired or you would want to take up that concept. Pehle aap likhiye. And then if you are stuck up, then we'll help you out because there are a lot of resources online. There are books on essays. The more you read them, the more innovative you cannot be. You cannot be creative if you start reading those essays. So if it has to be yours, come up. Then we give, and the best way to submit an essay, I always feel, is to sleep over it. You've written an essay, edit it, and then come back to it after 3 to 4 days. And if you still feel that this is good to go, that's a best idea. But I know the last minute application submissions, you don't have time, you're running. It's like 11:30 p.m. and then there's that push button happening. The whole team is along with the student. Okay, ready to go.
Can actually cause total glitches because everybody is trying to send it at the same time globally. Yes, I know that the whole pressure about it, but I loved some of the schools who prepare kids these days, and I think we're very blessed that Tanki went to one such school at Tangling Trust in Singapore, and the iterations they did in the essay, the children had to live with those iterations for weeks, saying the first cut will be here, the second cut, the final cuts and stuff like that, and they had to come back and little inputs kept coming in. So I know the excitement which goes into it, but I think it's a big aspect of children learning to be able to put a narrative to their own stories, which is a fantastic part about it. That's really nice. I think, what would your advice be to mothers who are so anxious about, helping the children's career the minute they start going into class 9, 10, or as you rightly said, the minute they're coming out of the boards?
For all the mothers and parents, especially, I would say that each child is unique and they have great potential. So we need to provide them the platform, the ambience, the resources to help fulfill their potential and unwind their uniqueness. Don't rush them, let them explore options. because you cannot have a lifelong decision for a career to be made in few weeks. So it's a good thing. Let them explore, let them do internships, let them do projects related to the intended major, and give them a springboard to soar high.
Lovely. That is really, really nice. And I think all parents require that nudge from somebody like you to be able to, if they're not or they're still aware. Although I'm very impressed with the way parents are invested in children these days, and that goes a long way. So Neeru, what next for Edcosmo?
So Edcosmo is starting a wing dedicated to master's program. So it's been 70% bachelor's and 30% master program. So now we are having a proper wing, which will be for only master students, as we are collaborating with colleges. So it's good to have a dedicated full wing for them.
All right. And what about geographical spread? I'm sure the Himachal, Jammu Kashmir, UP, and other parts must be looking forward to having someone like you.
We do have students from different boarding schools. In fact, we have from Dunes, even from Pune and Chennai, and from Himachal. With COVID, I believe online system has become very popular. I had a couple of students from abroad as well, guiding them. So it's become easier, and children and parents can relate better to it. So when the students, they are having breaks, they can, they just hop in to our center and go back home from boarding. So that's how we help them and guide them. Yes, we are planning to maybe open one center. I'm thinking of Jammu right now, because that area.
I said kids of the north need to require it. Yes,
Yes.
Very much. I'm so glad. All the very best to you and Edcosmo. Before you go, I would like to know your life motto, Neeru.
I believe that I want to be a better person, which I was yesterday. और मैं एक हिंदी में शायरी भी करना चाहती हूँ. मेरी जिंदगी एक मुसलसल सफर है. My life is a continuous journey. मिले तो मंजिल बढ़ा दी. So I believe in that, taking baby steps and moving forward in life, be it personal or professional.
Fantastic, Neeru. That's very well said, and I think everyone would love the story. The fact that you're a physician and you moved into an education and you're educating and inspiring so many students. All the very best and more power to you. We hope to keep getting these wonderful tips from you for all our mothers. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was so wonderful interacting with you, and I loved the session.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Neeru Bali, founder and director of Edcosmo Education Advisors. If you have any query or you want to have a consultation regarding higher education, please see the information below or call me at the number given.